Good morning, lovely writers. It's Monday English here, and I'm going to do this video for every single day of the week, so it's going to be quite a long one. We're still focused on our learning objective of recognizing different forms of poems. So, this is a poem which has become really popular recently and made its rounds across loads of different websites and everything. And it's a reverse poem. So we read it one way from the top to the bottom and it means one thing. But if you read it a different way, if you look at things in a different way, it does something different. Now, I like this poem because it was written by a 10-year-old student with dyslexia, and this is what they wrote. I am stupid. Nobody would ever say, I have a talent for words. I was meant to be great. That is wrong. I'm a failure. Nobody could ever convince me to think that I can make it in life. And then they've written, now read up. So when we go in the opposite direction, it sounds much more positive. I can make it in life. Nobody could ever convince me to think that I'm a failure. That is wrong. I was meant to be great. I have a talent for words. Nobody would ever say I'm stupid. So, that's our reverse poem. And we're going to write one of those today, on Monday. Let's break down what happens in that poem. And I've made a simplified version so that we can steal parts of it. Each verse or stanza is written in 3 lines, and the middle line is a really important one because it goes, I am something really negative. Then we have this crucial middle line, and then we say something really positive at the end. And that means that when we read it backwards, it works. So, I am worthless, and I refuse to believe people like me. I'm mean. People never say, I am a child genius. I am boring. My friends don't think I'm really worthwhile. I am lazy. My school report never said I am one of life's winners. I'm ugly. Nobody can ever convince me I am special. And yet, when we take this and read upwards through the lines, it changes our perspective. I am special. Nobody can ever convince me I am ugly. I'm one of life's winners. My school report never said I am lazy. I am really worthwhile. My friends don't think I'm boring. I am a child genius. People never say I'm mean. People like me, and I refuse to believe I am worthless. So, if we grab the middle lines out of those, we end up with something like this. I am, and we need to say something negative and horrible there. And I refuse to believe I am, we say something super positive about ourselves there. Okay? So the central line is the key bit, and I refuse to believe. So something negative in the middle line, and then I'm something positive. And I've taken the lines for each of those verses, the middle line, and popped it in there. Before we even begin, how I started was I made a whole list of things which were negative or mean or horrible. and put that all in one box so I could use and draw upon that. And in the other box, I made really good qualities. Charismatic and witty and sporty and friendly and skillful. A great storyteller. So words or phrases that would be really positive that we can use. So let's try this together. Pause the video now and make your word bank. Well done. Let's share some of those words with each other so we can magpie them. Okay, now we've got a word bank. Let's all write our first stanza here. And don't be afraid to change it, improve it, edit it. Let's go for this first one. Pause the video now and write your first stanza. Good. Now let's move on to the second. And remember, I am, write something positive. Write something negative, Then people never say, and I am something positive there. Pause the video now, write stanza 2. Okay. Let's try another one. I am, put something terrible and negative, and then my friends don't think, and finish off with I am something positive. Pause the video now, try that one. Okay, pause the video, try the next one. And pause the video and try this one. Now, let's try and read yours backwards and see if it still works. You may need to jiggle some words about. You may need to do some editing. You may want to add in some further details. But today, we're writing a reverse poem. See you soon. Good morning, Tuesday writers. You'll remember from yesterday that we looked at reverse poems and we wrote one about ourselves. We started off by looking at this one written by a 10-year-old student. I am stupid. Nobody would ever say I have a talent for words. I was meant to be great. That is wrong. I'm a failure. Nobody could ever convince me to think that I can make it in life. And then when we read up, I can make it in life. Nobody could ever convince me to think that I am a failure. That is wrong. I was meant to be great. I have a talent for words. Nobody would ever say I'm stupid. And you'll remember yesterday that we broke down some of that format so that we could write our own reverse poems with these. Well, today, because we've all had our perspectives changed by lockdown and the coronavirus, and we've all looked at things differently, we're going to write one not about I am, but we're going to think about something which you now view differently. It might be school. School is. It might be shopping. It might be your family. Something that you have changed your mind on during lockdown. Something that you now see differently. So we have an opportunity to turn it around. If you were going to choose school, well, we still do the same thing and start off with something super negative. And that might have been a viewpoint before lockdown, but I know, talking to everybody, that children are desperate to come back to school. School is boring and I refuse to believe. Might need a little bit of work on it. School is boring and I refuse to believe. School is something I love. And when we read it backwards, school is something I love and I refuse to believe school is boring. So you could change the I am to school, but it doesn't have to be. When you're writing your reverse poem today, think about something which you've changed your perspective on. You could be writing, as I say, about your family or shopping or lockdown or doing homework or watching TV or any other such thing. Something that has changed your perspective because of lockdown. Right. Pause the video there and change it to your thing and write stanza 1. Pause the video again and change it and write your stanza 2. Pause it once more, write your next stanza. Pause once again, write stanza 4. And write stanza 5. Now let's share something that you've come up with. See you soon. Happy Wednesday. It's Wednesday, people, and we are writing Calls Me. Calls Me poems. We're all different things to different people. Again, we're talking about perspective and the way people look at you. Yesterday we wrote a reverse poem where you wrote about how your mind had changed about something. Well, here we are. You're different things to different people. So, let's read this one through. My friends all call me hilarious when I muck about. My teacher calls me distracted if I don't finish 12 questions. My big brother calls me squirt or stinky or weird. My great granny calls me Sunny Jim when we visit her on Sundays. My dad calls me son and smiles as he ruffles my curls. Auntie Linda called me a rebel when I shaved my head. My neighbour's daughter called me cute and I ran inside our kitchen feeling sick. My dentist called me a brave little soldier when she had to fill a hole in one of my back teeth. My mum calls me an angel and I call her mum. So, pause the video there and talk to somebody near you about what this poem is doing. Welcome back. Let's have a look at some of the people that are listed in this. My friends, my teacher, my big brother, my great granny, my dad, Auntie Linda, my neighbour's daughter, a nice little possessive apostrophe used in there, my dentist, my mum. Now, you might not have a great Auntie Linda or a great granny, but we are going to come up with 9 different people that we can talk about. And each line has what they call you plus a little bit extra. Auntie Linda called me a rebel when I shaved my head. Don't be tempted to just stop at Auntie Linda called me a rebel. We're going to think of 9, and on the very last one, our little bit extra, is going to be what you call them. So I've saved it for my mum calls me an angel, and I call her mum. So pause the video and make a list of at least 15, 20 people, and then we can narrow it down to the 9 that you really like. Pause the video now. Welcome back, and let's share our lists of people. And now let's start with our first line. We're going to write our first line and then check in and see if it really does have a person and then a little bit extra. Good, some wonderful first lines that I've heard from you. Now let's press on and write the other, all the 9 lines of this poem. Remember, the last one is going to finish up with what you call them. Okay, read through what you've got so far, and let's share them with somebody near you. Some fantastic lines there, well done. See if there's any punctuation that you've missed or some way that you can improve it, a word that you could add. Let's proofread it once you've got your 9 lines, your 9 lives, and see if there's some way that we could add in an adjective or an adverb, something to just improve it still further. Okay, so that's our Calls Me poem. Congratulations. I'll see you soon. Good morning. Happy Thursday, English. Let's dive straight in. We're still recognizing different types of poems. What type of poem is one of these? Night Prowler, Midnight Howler, Meat Hunter, Air Sniffer, Hackle Raiser, Throat Ripper. Yes, it's a Kenning. Kennings are poems which have 2 words per line, and they mostly end in ers, because we're describing, in this case, we're describing an animal, and we're describing it with 2 words like this. And that way, we can build up a picture, but without mentioning what the animal is. Let's have some suggestions. Which animal do you think is talked about here? Yes, I think I heard somebody say wolf. Yes, it is. Let's move on to another one. Maybe you can figure out what this one animal is. Fish scarer, body tearer, sea hunter, limb cruncher, fish scoffer, bone coffer, sharp gnasher, skull smasher. What might that be? Yes, you're right. It's a shark. So today we're going to write some Kennings. It's a nice, simple, straightforward way of doing it. We think of an animal or a creature or something that you love, a PS, or a book or a ice cream. It can be absolutely anything once we get our focus on it. And then we make sure that we write in 2-word descriptions of it. It's probably best to write at least 12 or 14 of them, because some of them will be better than others. And that way you can pick out your best 7 or 8 and place them in the order that you want to do them. Pause the video and think of what you're going to write your kenning about now. Okay, great. Now, put that in the middle of your page and find as many ways as you can to describe it in 2 words. Do that now. Finally, we're going to take those 2-word combinations and decide which order do they best go in. Write your kenning at least 7 or 8 lines long. An even number is better, really, with 8. Write your kenning now about what you've chosen. If you have time, repeat the process, choose a different object or person or animal, and write another kenning. Good luck, see you soon. Welcome, Friday poets. You can see that we've been working all week on recognizing different forms of poetry, and we wrote reverse poems on Monday, reverse poems about something different, not ourselves, on Tuesday. We did calls me poems on Wednesday, and we've written some kennings on Thursday. Friday. We've studied over the past 2 weeks sonnets, kennings, calls me poems, sestains, and reverse poems. And you're going to select which type you're going to write today. Poetry is always about things which you are feeling passionate about. So we're going to select something about which you are passionate. We're going to build a word bank first of everything that you can think about it, feel about it, what it smells like, what it tastes like, what it looks like when you've done it. Words and phrases that can go into your word bank in no particular order. And then, once we've made all those notes of useful phrases, we're going to write our first draft. This will not be how your poem finishes up looking. We'll write a first draft, and there'll be things that you change and words that you add and things that you take away. If you're writing a sonnet, you might have to jiggle it around so you've actually got those 10 syllables per line, so that you've got 14 lines, and so that you've got the last 2 rhyming. If you're writing a kenning, you might change the order in which that you use your lines to make them the most powerful way round. If you're writing a calls me poem, you could change it to calls her or calls him and change it the focus onto somebody else. And if you're writing a reverse poem, definitely scroll back through the video and find those middle lines that magically help us to write something negative, then use that middle line, and then something positive. This is your chance to choose exactly what you want to write your poem about, and then select the best type of poem out of all the types that we've studied to use and write about it. I look forward to seeing loads of these on the blog, but I don't want to see anybody's first draft. Make sure that you've had a go after you've made your word bank. Finish your first draft and read it through. Then edit and improve it, gradually improving it, fettling it until it is exactly how you want it. Good luck, people, and I'll see you soon.